Powerful queen, beautiful thing, follow your dreams, yeah. It's not what they say, but what they need, follow your dreams, yeah. Anything you put your mind to, if you believe, gotta believe. Anything you put your mind to, gotta believe, yeah. If you believe, yeah. Gotta believe, yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Anshel Tucker and I am coming to you to do a frequently asked questions video on Mississippi College based on one of my older videos that I did, and I kind of get the same question, so I just wanted to compile a few for you guys. And if you have any questions outside of that, continue to either write me in the comments, email me, or write me on Instagram, and if you need any like personalized information, and I will be happy to help you. So the first question, I have them all in my notebook here, so don't mind me looking down, I'm just trying to read through the questions. So how long did it take me to graduate is a very common question, because I know the website says something about like it's a year-long program. It took me a year and a half. I chose to do it that way. I could spread out my med levels, so I didn't have to take several med levels in a semester. It's doable, but to do 2 med levels on top of several elective classes is kind of tough, and I don't know why you guys are choosing Mississippi College, but I chose Mississippi College to get my GPA higher and, you know, really like learn more information, and I just wanted to focus on fewer classes at a time and maximize my GPA and do it that way. Like I wasn't really in a rush for anything, so that's the way I chose to do it. I also started in the summer. I like applied to start in the fall, but I wasn't doing anything that summer. I'm like, I might as well start my classes. So I took like an online class. Back then they only had a few. Right now during the pandemic, I know like everything's online, so take advantage of that. I took like an online class, and then I moved to Mississippi that summer as well, and I maybe took like 2 to 3 classes, so that really took a load off of my semesters. That way I can focus on whatever classes I was taking and not have to like rush to like jam pack this schedule, because I know it wasn't beneficial for me. So a lot of students do it in a year and a half. You are more than welcome to take more than a year and a half. Some students do that too, just to pace themselves. What classes did I take and why? So the 3 med levels I took were Med Phys 2, Histo, and Gross Anatomy. The reason I took those, back then you could take Med Phys 2 without Med Phys 1. They have nothing to do with each other, but I know that some rules have changed. But Med Phys 2 was like really helpful to me here in dental school. Extremely helpful, actually. Like even helped with stuff on the boards that like I didn't quite get here, or the few classes that I did take here like didn't even really have to study for them, because Med Phys 2 at MC was just so popping with Dr. Barasa. Hey, yeah, it really set me up for success here, so I loved that class. If you take Med Phys 2, take Med Phys 2. If you're going into medical school, Med Phys 1 and Med Phys 2 are like just really priceless, as well as Gross Anatomy. Gross Anatomy is not optional. If you want to get into professional school and you want to do well, like you need Gross Anatomy. I would check to see if the schools that you're applying to have like a Gross Anatomy lab, because we did have the lab, and when I got to dental school, barely studied for Gross Anatomy, got an A, tutored it. Like MC is the spot for that. The electives that I took were, and this is only a few that I could think of off the top of my head, okay guys, it's been a while. Unifying Principles, Biology of Cancer, Food and Water Micro, Mycology, Medical Micro, Grad Sim, of course, and those were the ones that I can think of. I think I took maybe 2 more. Oh, Infectious Disease. Wow, just thought of that off the top of my head. Infectious Disease, and maybe like 1 more. But those are the classes that I took. Really enjoyed them. Let's see. Did I take the DAT or the MCAT there? Yes, I did. So like I said, I started in the summertime, did those couple classes, fall, spring, did those 2 semesters, took that summer off, didn't take any summer classes because I just really wanted to focus on my DAT. Studied for the DAT that summer and then came back for my final semester to take gross, and then I graduated. So I did graduate in December. But yeah, I took the DAT there. It did help. MC does not have like a DAT prep program. Like, it is an actual master's program, has nothing to do with the DAT or MCAT, although I would say that it was helpful for me, mostly because I had to study in a certain type of way. So I don't know, it kind of just like spilled over into that. Like, also a few of the subjects are the same, like physiology, but mostly the studying, the way I had to study for my classes helped me with a study method for the DAT, if that makes any sense at all. Where did I live, or where do I recommend living? Doesn't matter so much where you live specifically. I would just recommend living in Clinton. Do not move all the way to Jackson. Like, unless you already live in Jackson, you have a place, whatever. But I would strongly recommend living in Clinton because it's close to the school. When we were there and things weren't online, you did have to go to class every single day. And it just kind of makes it that much easier. I lived in a townhouse that I found on the Facebook group. So once you're accepted, some of you guys know this already, once you're accepted, you get added to a Facebook group where upperclassmen are moving out of their places from graduating, or different people are talking about like what rooms they have available. You find roommates on there, whatever. So I stayed in a townhouse in a really cute little neighborhood up the street from there, and it was technically walking distance, but Mississippi doesn't have a lot of sidewalks in different places, so it is kind of difficult to walk. I did have my car there. It's maybe like a 2-minute drive. Like, it was practically nothing, but they do have apartments, like an all-girls building right across from the science building, and then there are apartments, all kind of apartments near there. So just look in Clinton, type in the school's zip code, and try to get as close as you can, you know, around that area. How much does it cost? I would say, this is just a guesstimate, I think around 45K, I want to say. You have to have 33 credits, 33 credits if I'm not mistaken, and all this information is on the school website, so fact check me, go look it up for yourself. This is just off the top of my head, guys. I think it's around $600 to $650 per credit hour. You have to take 33 credits, that times the 33 times the $650 for your credit hours. Then if you need housing on top of that, which I did, and you know, like room and board type of things, because you don't stay on campus as a graduate student unless you stay in like that little housing thing for grad students, like right across, but most of us did not. You'll have to account for that type of stuff. So I want to say in total it was around like $45,000 for me. What was it like going to grad school, or going to that school? I loved Mississippi College. Like, it's hard, it's gonna kick your butt and really whip you into shape and show you what you're made of, but I absolutely loved my time there. I made a lot of friends, had a really good support system there. It was great. I do have 2 other videos that I will put in the description, and I may put it somewhere up top for you guys. One is a full semester recap of, like, you know, what we were doing, what it was like. And And then also I had like one for gross anatomy. That was kind of just showing our time in gross anatomy. Of course, I'm not in the lab with the bodies. It's very disrespectful. But just to show like kind of where our minds were, what we were feeling like, and you know, funny little videos. My time there was fine. I enjoyed it. Do most people get into school after, and what about GPAs? So I don't know the percentage of people that get into school specifically. I do know that a lot of my friends got into med school and dental school, vet school, all kinds of schools after completing Mississippi College. So as long as you do what you're supposed to do there, like the school has a phenomenal reputation. If you start on the biomedical science track, try your best to stay on that track. Like really buckle down and do what you have to do there so that you can get into school. It's not like a direct pipeline. It doesn't guarantee you a spot. You have to get there and you have to kill it. Period. And what about GPAs? A lot of people ask me about GPAs. Definitely keep your GPA up. I think if you drop below a 3.0, you would have to switch to the regular biology track just to kind of save your GPA. But as you guys know, a 3.0 is not competitive for professional school. So try your best to stay above a 3.5. It is doable. It's going to be a lot of work. Definitely going to be a lot of work. And the last question is, did I have a social life? Depends on the semester, honestly. There was a semester that I ended up, let me see, my first fall semester, I struggled in a class. I think I talked about this in another video. I struggled in a class, ended up auditing it. I didn't want to have like a, what is that called? Like a drop or whatever. That was like my first time experiencing that. So I didn't want to get a C in the class because I'm like, I didn't come here for C's. Like I need to get A's and maybe like a sprinkle of B's, but like I did not come here for C's. So I did audit the class so that it wasn't showing as a drop. And it was like my first real semester. So it was like, you know, whatever. I stayed in it to audit it. That didn't mean like that I like went somewhere else or just took that time off. Like I stayed in that class to learn the information, to figure out like how he was testing. I couldn't take the exams anymore. I don't think I could take the exams, but just to, you know, try to get a feel of like how it's supposed to be processing the information, because it was completely different for me. So I did struggle with it, so I ended up taking it the following semester. So I did have 2 med levels in that semester, but I had kind of sat through one before and ended up doing really well in it the next semester. So I don't think that had anything to do with anything. Oh, yeah. Sorry guys, all over the place. But that semester I did not have a social life. Like I was in those classes, I did not hang out, I did not stop past go. Like no, it was grind mode, and like sometimes you have to sacrifice that way. Like I'm not, yes I want to make friends and yes I want to make connections while I'm here, and that does help you in so many ways, but I'm ultimately here to get myself to professional school. So my main focus wasn't having a social life and hanging out with friends. Like that just was not it. I did not care about that. People were like, oh my God, I barely see you anymore. Like, cause I'm here and I'm eventually trying to get this money, honey. I don't have time to play, like, period. But yeah, I definitely had a social life. Jackson, I don't know where you guys are from. I'm from Vegas. It's completely different. Like, there's practically nothing to do. You guys will have to find stuff to do. We would throw our own parties. There are a few bars in Jackson to go out, but yeah, I mean, it is really the perfect place to focus because there aren't a lot of distractions. You're like literally in the middle of the country, but it's okay. Nothing was worse than the country that I went to undergrad in. It was in Prairie View, Texas. Nothing around there, nothing. We had to create our own fun, so I was completely fine with that. And that's what you need, because I'm pretty sure if everything was perfect, then you wouldn't be there. So take that time to focus, buckle down, cut out outside distractions. If somebody is stressing you out, just causing extra drama and nonsense for no reason, cut them out too. You don't need it. This time right here, like they say that in professional school, it's a selfish time. Grad school, while you're there at MC, is a selfish time. It is to get you to where you're trying to go. You don't have time. You do not have time to like play with all these extra things. But that's just my little 2 cents. Like, buckle down, focus. If I can do it, you can do it, okay? All right. So if you have any other questions for me, hit me up on Instagram. You can write me on here. You can email me. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.